Hi, everybody. Oh, it's Mama, Hip Flippin' Mama. I thought I would just come on here and do a little chit chat, get a little work done, talk about what's gone on the last couple days in my life, what's going on in my life today, some not so good things today. Talk about my auction on Wednesday, talk about my eBay store thereof, health issues, things of that nature. Why not? I haven't seen you guys in a while. Hi, Craig. Hi, Cody. Hey, Mel. Hi, Amy. I am opening this up to anybody that wants to come on. Look at the cat hair on me. Wrong boob. I forgot everything's backwards. Yes, I have a cat. Hi, Virginia. Cody, do you want to come on with me? I know, right? You want the link, Cody? Yes or no? Hi, Perla. Perla, you want to come on with me? She'll say no because her hair won't be perfect and her makeup won't be perfect. Hi, Willow. Willow, you want to come on with me? Okay, I'm going to drop this link. This is the link to get into my StreamYard right now. So if you feel like jumping in, go ahead and jump in. I would love to have at least... Cody, who cares if you have makeup on? I don't have makeup on. I just got out of the shower. That one person right next to me. Willow, come on. Hi, Cody.
Hi, Mama.
How are you?
I am maintaining.
Willow's coming on in a minute. What
Cool.
are you? So what's see, Perla says my hair is a mess. Perla,
Yeah.
listen, honey.
Okay, Perla. Not an excuse.
Perla,
Not an
Perla,
excuse, okay? No.
Perla. I look like the girl from The Ring. Perla, are you coming on now?
Yeah. Are you coming on now? Look, we got all messy just for you.
Yeah, we got... Well, actually, mine looks pretty sweet, but...
Shut up.
Come on, baby. Show your beautiful face. Mama hasn't seen you in so long. All those beautiful chicks, beautiful skinny chicks, they piss me off because they think that they're so fat. Oh my God, I'm so fat. Oh my God, I'm so ugly. Oh my God, I have a wrinkle. And it's like, you know what? I wish I had your fat problems. I'll switch with you right now. I'll go down to that size 6 and you can have my size 24.
Or bigger.
How about that?
Yeah, well, I'm fat and I'm not a beauty queen. I don't even know where any of my makeup is in this storage locker that I live in.
Do you know what? I am finally back down to 300. When I was on that medication that my doctor gave me to go with my depression,
yeah,
I gained like 35 pounds in 6 weeks. So I went up to 320. So now I'm finally back down to 300.
Hi, Virginia.
Oh, okay, Willow.
Well, when my son was younger, he was 11 years old and foster care here. Well, social services here decided that I was not a fit parent. It was a long story, but they took him to their own psychiatrist, even though he was seeing one because, he was on medication. for ADHD with impulsive destructive disorder. He was on time-released Adderall, and it worked for him. And hi, Amy.
Hi.
I love your hair. Your hair looks awesome. It's very pink.
It's going to be even pinker because I got another box because I only did one bottle and my hair's like
super long.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like half my body length is my hair.
But they social services decided that he should go to their psychiatrist without consulting his psychiatrist. That psychiatrist decided he was bipolar and put him on medication that hadn't even been tested on kids under the age of 18.
Hi, Willow.
Hi, Willow.
He gained 90 pounds in 3 weeks. He walked past the visitation room. I did not even recognize my own child. I was furious.
Yeah.
I was so furious. And when I finally got him back and went to his psychiatrist, I said, how do we get him off that medication and back to his other one? She called that psychiatrist and said, I'm turning you in because you were unprofessional. Da, 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 da. But I've never seen a psychiatrist rip someone a new ass before. It was awesome.
That's cool. Hey, Craig, do you want to come on with a panel full of women?
Yeah. Do you dare?
Come on now, LSP.
Do you? Do you dare?
I don't know if you would or not.
Hey, Willow.
So how you been doing, Amy?
I've been doing all right.
Yeah. How's your eBay
I started
store?
doing stuff. It's getting better now that I've slowed down on the auctions and started listing more. It's getting better. My first, I want to say within the first 3 days when I started listing stuff, I had 9 sales in less than 24 hours.
That's nice.
You are rocking that pink hair, Amy. Cool.
Yes, she is.
Thanks.
It looks awesome on you.
I also started doing my own channel. How long has it been? I've done like 3 auctions.
Well, you've had it up for a while.
Right. I started my first one. I don't remember when I started my first one.
Rachel, come on in with us.
Yeah, Rachel. And Virginia, thank you. I love you. She said I don't look like a size bigger than 22.
I'm 24.
Technically, I can wear. See, I don't do women's clothes, so women's sizes are kind of like.
Oh, so you dress like a man.
Yeah, well, t-shirts, tank tops, shorts.
Hey, Cody, you know that pant style that LL Cool J has, where he wears one pant up and one pant down?
Yeah.
You got that style down, girl.
I do, because I got to pin one leg up.
Yep.
Although I will have my my prosthetic eventually, so I can wear both pant legs down. The problem is going to be my my leggings are going to look really weird, but screw it, they're comfortable. Well, because the lower half of that leggings are tight, so it's going to be around a prosthetic that's like all metal and gears and weird.
Oh, what?
Stuff. I'm like, hey, I don't care if they mess with me. I'll just kick them with my fake leg.
There you go.
Oops.
I've lost like almost 140 pounds now.
Yeah, Amy's dropped a ton of weight. You look fantastic.
Yeah, now it's time to go to the gym and start working out and toning everything like I want it. Well,
yeah,
hopefully that's how it works.
Because you're getting flabby.
What?
Because you're getting flabby.
Yeah, like all the extra skin, like that's not okay.
Yeah, it only shrinks so much. Trust me. I got turkey waddles in places I didn't know I could have them.
I know. I talked about going and having a gastric bypass, and my husband had been trying to get me to do it for years, and I said, I think I'm going to do it, honey. And he's like, why? You're in your 50s now. What's the big deal? I'm like, oh, you only wanted me skinny when I could be hot for you, right? Is that the...
Uh-oh. He backed himself into a corner there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
I'll be right back.
Okay. My surgeon actually suggested that to me because where I have to use more upper body strength, I have to move myself around. If I had that surgery, I would lose the weight and it would be easier. I wouldn't have as much to move, put it that way.
Right.
And I looked at him. I was like, look, I have heard all those stories of your body having to adjust, and you have to eat. You can't just stop eating when you get that. You have to eat small meals because your body's
Right.
used to it, and I can't do that because I don't have anybody to bring me food.
Well,
I get, one meal every 24 hours cooked. So
here's my deal as far as the small meals and stuff like that. I do better if I eat, see, my thing is like, I just ate, right? What Tom made for dinner after. Hi, Whiskey. How's my buddy? How's my buddy doing?
Brittany,
If you, hey, Nancy. Hi, Susan. It's just a get together. Hey, how you doing? Get a little bit of work done, maybe. Hello, how's everybody doing? I took the last 2 days off. Like I never even came in my room.
Mavis. Yeah.
I'm having more problems with this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the dentist and the oral surgeon and see if he had Mabel Bunny Mavis, to see if I can get in Monday and have him look at this, maybe take some x-rays and see if I have any more shards in here.
Yeah, because it shouldn't still be bothering you that bad.
It's been 3.5 weeks, and this coming up Thursday will be 4 weeks. And I should be able to eat solid food by now.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, wisdom's taken out or what?
I had the tooth on my upper back, the back tooth on my upper right side. I lost the filling in it, and they saw some black on the inside of the tooth, and they're like, well, we don't really want to let this go because it's right by your sinus cavity and you have bad sinuses. So I don't want to get in there and pull it and then have to accidentally nick that sinus passage. So I went to a oral surgeon, and he could not pull it. Then he cut it in 2 pieces, couldn't pull it. He ended up cutting it into 9 pieces to get it out. And there were several shards. And for the first week after my surgery, I was picking shards out of my gum. Yeah. They were coming out when I brushed, or I would dig in there because I could feel like the little tip. So I'm digging into the gum, right, which is not good, but that's me. What's pain? I'm used to pain every day. So what's pain? So I'm digging in and I'm pulling out these shards of teeth and everything. And I mean, they're like 1/2 inch long and everything. They're not like little pieces of teeth. And so then after the first week, like the first, 7-8 days, I was doing that. And then I decided to just let it heal. Well, it's been 2.5 weeks since I've been letting it heal, and it's still really painful. So I think I'm gonna call Monday and see if I can get in, and I want him to take some x-rays or something because there's no reason it shouldn't have healed by now.
Yeah, definitely.
Other people, and it has said that, like, they cut my husband's tooth in 2 and pulled it, and he was fine a few days later. It was no big deal.
I've had 13 dental surgeries. Complex extraction. I have had shards come out of my gum over 2 years later.
Hey, it still hurts?
It does happen. Most of my
I had that problem too.
Most of my chewers all had 6 roots instead of 4.
So are you still hurting, Willow?
Dental wise, no, but yeah. Otherwise, I have chronic severe pain, and then I've been having breakout.
Mama, have you used salt water?
No.
Try rinsing your mouth out with salt water.
I don't know what salt water is supposed to do. I use Listerine.
Warm salt water
that's harsh.
Without irritating the raw tissue. Listerine has alcohol in it. It's going to irritate the raw tissue. that could be aggravating and slowing healing. Warm salt water actually soothes. And if they gave you one of the syringes to irrigate,
Nope.
you don't want to get food trapped in there. So you want to irrigate with a syringe with warm water.
What if food does get trapped in there?
It can cause infection. You can get abscesses.
Well, maybe
you can get
that's
little abscess pockets up in there. It can move into your sinus. So you want to irrigate.
Well, that might be what's happening then. They never gave me instructions.
Yeah, you could have
or anything.
They never even told you what to do?
No, they never told me nothing when I left there.
Jeez. Usually I get like a list of instructions on what I need to do and what not to do.
Go to aftercare instructions and ask them. Tell them you need an oral irrigation syringe. And it won't be more than maybe your tops.
I don't know. I'm still going to call them. I'm still going to call them, and I'm going to say, hey, dude, look, I'm still having a lot of pain. And yeah, Deb, I always drink with the straw.
That could aggravate it too.
Yep. Yeah. As soon as you have the surgery, for the first 48 to 72 hours, they usually do not want you anywhere near a straw because you can suck the blood clot back out where it's trying to clot. And that can cause a dry socket. Which
I would, just a suggestion, find a different dentist to go to because yours
sounds
sucked.
like it.
Seriously.
Well, I have to go back to him. I've got to go back to him because he's the one that did it. So.
No, you don't. Unless that your insurance makes you.
Well, I have to because I already paid the copay. Look at this beautiful piece of jewelry.
Oh, cool.
Pretty.
Willow, how you like that piece?
Where's Linda?
Awesome.
Look at this piece, Willow.
Tortured Linda with that piece at her auction. She tortured her.
Yeah, I did.
She's like, look what I have that you can't buy yet.
Look at that, Willow.
That's interesting.
It's coral.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to clean it.
Good old 1960s red coral.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is, though. It's peach.
Shipping test.
Make yourself big, honey, if you need me to identify.
Oh, I'm already big.
Your screen.
I know.
The big I can relate. Yeah. Been there. Got it.
Okay, hold on, guys. I'm so
Such a brat. You are beautiful.
Oh, thank you. My hair, I am shedding so bad. It's got little lines in it. Hang on, let it focus.
That is peach quartz.
That's what I was thinking, but you think it's peach quartz?
Yes,
Let me see what it. You guys, my office is such a mess. You guys, my mom is back in the hospital. She's here. I'll put you on big. She's back in the hospital with pneumonia.
I'm sorry. I hope she gets better soon.
That is rough.
I hope she gets better soon.
Yeah, me too. It doesn't test anything. It tests glass.
It could just be glass that they faked really good.
Yeah, it's a good fake.
Hey, Kim.
Although I've seen
Oh, yeah, that's all for the teeth. There you go. Just whack that puppy.
That's how I tell what it's made
of. Although I've seen some polymer clay artists that have been able to make, I mean, almost perfect replications of gemstones that you wouldn't be able to tell the difference without a tester.
Yeah. Virginia thinks coral, but coral isn't that hard, though.
No. And coral has,
come up with anything, so I think it's glass.
You know, the flares or striations or something, and that's just not.
Yeah.
Well, I need to calibrate.
In Virginia, to answer your question, I had to have 2 surgeries on the bottom of my foot because I got staph, and that was healing up. And I had one of those little boot things on my foot, and the bandages on the bottom of my foot weren't flat; they were uneven and kind of bunched up. And my foot slid out of the boot, and it rolled my ankle twice because I was stupid and didn't take the thing off the first time. I ended up shattering and dislocating and shattering my ankle, and I got an infection in the bone, and they only gave it a 5% chance of me being able to beat that with antibiotics, and I would always be in pain. They would have to reconstruct my ankle, put in all kinds of fake stuff, and so my surgeon, who had saved my foot in the first place, ironically, said that the only option I had really was amputation. So
That's rough.
What sucked is that we healed the foot after almost a year. Well, yeah, over a year. We healed the foot, and boom, lost the foot anyway. I was so mad. I was mad at my leg. I was very mad at my own leg. I'm like, Urgh! But yeah, so.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That seriously sucks.
So, and unfortunately, it's been very slow healing, and now I have an infection. It's not a bad one, but I'm keeping it clean and rinsed, and I have a sodium solution, so it's like salt water type of thing, or saline solution that I clean it with. And on the 3rd, I have to call my doctor and talk to him about antibiotics. Hopefully, they won't make me go all the way down there so that they can unwrap it, look at it, and go, oh, it's infected. Yes, I'm aware of that. Why did you make me come down here for this? I don't know what they'll do, but it's painful. The wheelchair that I have is too small for me. It was John's, and he had a very skinny ass. I do not, so sitting in it is uncomfortable. Getting in and out of the car is uncomfortable because during the whole thing with my foot and the home healthcare nurse coming over to look at it, I went to sit down in a chair, get out of the wheelchair and sit in a chair so she could, clean my foot.
Yeah.
And I wrenched my knee, and apparently I kind of knocked my leg out of alignment on my right leg. So that's why I've been having so much pain in my right knee, and that's why if it gets overstrained, it will collapse and I'll hit the floor. So, yeah, we have that to look, makes it very uncomfortable for me to leave my house and go anywhere.
No kidding. Hi,
I
Anna
would say
Mara.
if you do have to go see your doctor, tell them that you need a wheelchair that fits you.
Yeah, they don't care. I'd have to buy it, and I can't.
Willow. Go ahead, keep talking, Cody.
Do I have ghost leg? I do get phantom pains and twinges, and I actually feel my foot more now than I did when I had it.
Rachel says rhodochrosite.
No, I don't think so. There's not enough inclusions or striations in it.
What do you like this, Willow?
Yeah, that's either Navajo or Zuni inlay.
Yeah, I like Zuni.
It's very pretty.
I would say Zuni.
I'm just testing them right now. I'm just testing them right now. Rhodochrosite would not show up on my tester, but I'll have to look some up because some like onyx does not show up on a tester. But if I put my needle onto a piece of onyx, I get a reaction from it.
Yeah.
Even though I know it's not on the listed on the gem tester, I get a reaction from it. So if I have a fake piece of onyx, I don't get a reaction from that.
That's interesting. Because if it's fake onyx, it could be jet.
Hey, I'm going to show you a piece of what Courtney and I aren't sure what are. Look at.
Yeah,
Let me show you these. Let me show you these up front. This is what's going to be in Wednesday.
Look at her teasing everybody. Jonathan, pay attention over here. Look at the screen.
This gem strand.
This is gold. This is onyx. This is onyx. These are just flat rings. Hang on, I got another board. But
So
look at
many
this
boards.
pendant.
You should have seen all the boards she was making while we were chatting after the auction.
Hang on.
Mama kept me up so late, okay?
I didn't keep you up nothing.
She would not let me get off the computer.
I didn't keep you up nothing.
She tied me down in the green room and wouldn't let me go.
Oh, jeez. She's full
Shipping
of
test.
shit.
I am. That one is a full of shit thing because me and Mama chatted and it was awesome and I love her.
Cody is going to be calling my auctions till she gets tired of doing it. I have these really pretty, check these out, Willow. Garnet and this actually will flash some red. Garnet and Chalcedony.
Sydney?
Isn't it Chalcedony?
Yeah, people
I've
pronounce
always
it both ways.
pronounced it Chalcedony.
See the red
Yeah.
in it?
People pronounce it both ways.
It didn't sell. I was surprised.
Mama, you cannot
here's
sell
my other
every.
board.
Could be the color blend. The color blend between the two stones isn't super popular. So it would just take the right person that loves that.
Oh, these ones right here I want to ask you about.
Okay.
I have, gosh darn it. I dropped another one. And they're on there good too. Okay, so I've never seen this and I haven't researched it yet. This is mighty far from me. Okay, so I thought at first that this would be onyx, but it's not onyx. Cody thought maybe petrified wood, which I thought of, but I don't know what jet looks like. So see?
Jet looks like onyx, but it is lightweight, like amber.
See how this has got...
It's got like a texture to it.
Yeah, a texture
That's
to
not
it.
jet.
But it's hard like a stone. It's like a stone.
I think it's a glass back on diuretic glass.
Oh, I hadn't thought of
On the
that.
back of diuretic glass.
Diachromation glass or whatever?
Yeah, they call it diuretic glass.
Diuretic?
Yeah.
Does it shit all the time?
I hadn't even thought of that.
So you think it's glass?
Yeah.
Good call, Will.
Yeah, it sounds like stone.
Mama gonna be putting in for new teeth. She keeps putting this, doing this.
That's how I test it. and then I'll Purell it. A little bit of Purell on there. These are really cute, though. I'm super excited about getting these out.
Yeah, those will go well. Virginia has infected underarm adrenal gland.
Ooh.
Ew.
Ouch.
I've had them explode under my arms from my skin condition attacking them. That was interesting.
Really? Amy.
Thanks, Jonathan.
And Kim wants to know, what is the oblong white stone ring?
I got this. Let it focus. Isn't that pretty?
Oh wow!
So it's got
And that
red
is
jasper.
stone. That's not enamel inlay or
No,
enamel.
that's red jasper. There's turquoise there, and I think
Yeah.
the green would be the malachite, and the blue I want to say is that sodalite, because it looks like the blue in the clouds.
Blue in the clouds would be Larimar. That kind of looks a little dark for Larimar, but the computer might be picking it up wrong.
It is a little dark though. Well, what's the mother one? Sodalite?
Sodalite is one, usually has a lot of white in it, though. Those are small enough, though, they could have gotten a cut that doesn't have much white in it. Show it again.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, there you go. So big.
Mm,
Yeah, that's sodalite.
yeah.
What about this one? I originally thought it was malachite, but now that I get it close, it doesn't have the stripes like malachite. Could that be turquoise?
Could be. I can't really tell.
That looks like a green turquoise to me.
It looks blue to me on here. So
Yeah, it looks blue on the
It's
screen here
green.
too.
Yeah, it's green. So I think that's a green turquoise right there. And then here's a Sleeping Beauty turquoise.
yeah.
And then we got the red jasper. That's what I think that is.
Beautiful. Whatever it is.
It is really pretty.
Look at the it's got the openings in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just so they can save.
It's better looking at the piece on the back.
What's that, honey?
I said sometimes you can identify the stone better by looking at the piece on the back than the piece on the front.
Hang on, let me focus this.
I love how they do the open backs on stones that are solid. I'm like, wow, you were trying to save silver, weren't you?
There we go.
Well, they do that on stones that are more stable.
Yeah.
They can't do that on stones that have to be stabilized.
925 Thailand. I find that things that come out of Thailand, I really like the quality of.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a problem at one point with a bunch of the silver that was coming out of Thailand because they were trying to produce it so quickly that their quality wasn't quite. It was still sterling silver, but their quality of it wasn't as high grade as it should be, and it ended up being
it
brittle.
wasn't meeting the 925 standard. It was like 905 or something, and
and it was brittle, and people were having a problem with it because it was still being stamped and sold as sterling silver. There was a big, it was a huge scandal in the jewelry world. I remember that, but I think they've fixed all of that now. At least I would hope so, because I mean their pieces were gorgeous. You know, the designs and the techniques and the work that went into their pieces were just amazing.
Hey, Willow, how would I? Oh, I'm still big. Sorry, Willow. How would I know? Okay, Mel, I'll send it, baby. I'll send it. How do you know the difference between Zuni and Navajo?
For me, it's just kind of gut. The person to ask on very specific is Gianna Little White Man.
Yeah, it's Sissy. I know.
Yeah, I don't claim to be able to recognize either. I mean, I can recognize something as being indigenous to America, you know, the American, to being created by indigenous Americans. Okay. But
to be authentic Native American.
Right. See, a native, everybody's native if you're born here. I just go with the indigenous thing. But for, you know, the sake of conversation, we'll say Native American. I'll get over it.
Well, that's what you should call, you know, us Indians. They
were here first. So,
Native American, you know.
I have full respect for the indigenous people of the Americas. I really do. I'm adopted. I have no idea what my ancestry is. I'm going to go with not Native American, just good guess. But I haven't done that ancestry DNA thing either. So who knows? I might have some of them there somewhere.
Now, Willow, are you Native American?
I'm English, Irish, Dutch, Dane, Cherokee, and Apache.
Cherokee and Apache. The Cherokee were the beautiful people.
They were all beautiful.
I know, but
then I didn't get enough.
Within the tribes, the Cherokee were known as the beautiful people because they had the beautiful facial structure and the nice skin. And I'm just saying that's what I don't know. That's just what I learned. What'd you say, Willow?
I said, then I didn't get enough. Do you, Kelly,
What?
look, do you mind or you want me black screen?
What is it?
Here's a cigarette.
I don't care if you vape cigarette.
You haven't noticed that
It's
I'm
not
sitting here
vape, it's
smoking?
real.
Huh?
You want me black screen?
Are you vaping pot?
No, I'm smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, I don't care if you smoke a cigarette.
Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
Thank you for asking, though.
I always do.
I asked on Wednesday, so.
Yeah, if people don't want that, then I just black screen.
Yeah,
well, I wish my friends I care about didn't smoke, but that's up to you.
Amy messaged me. She doesn't know what happened. She just fell out, and she is in the chat. She's just not able to comment right now.
Okay.
So she didn't want you to think that she was rude and just took off. She did not.
Oh no, it's okay. I wouldn't care one way or the other.
Internet has been funky for everything lately. I was just over at an auction. The poor fella pays like $130 a month for internet, and he was fuzzing out. Well, he figured out it's because he had dual camera, and one of the cameras was causing the pixelation and stuff. So.
Oh really? You're talking about Tom Cruise and
Gary.
Gary, yeah.
I didn't want to say names. You know, some people don't like that. Don't comment about it.
Well, they don't
up on my
care.
channel kind of thing. So it's just habit.
They do not care.
Well, I can't keep track of who's okay and who isn't, so I just don't.
Making a list, just like Victoria's list of everybody's names.
I still wouldn't follow it.
I know. She can never find her list.
Wouldn't matter anyway.
Manual.
If I want to say somebody's name, I'm going to say their name.
Well, you know.
Victoria's cheat sheet is now like 3 or 4 pages long, and she's like, "Where did I put my list? I don't know what your name is." You know. She's so cute.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm sitting on a sofa in the living room. I don't exactly have, like a desk, to keep everything all.
Yeah.
I can't sit at the desk. It's too painful. It's too much pressure on my spine. That's why I'm leaning like I am. I'm leaning against the arm of a sofa to take the pressure off my tailbone and my spine.
Everything tested good.
Mama, did you see what Melody said?
Yeah, she's a Heinz 57.
No, before that.
What?
That was Mavis.
Oh.
Melody. Did you?
Yeah, I told her I'd send it.
I didn't know.
Yeah, thank you though.
You're welcome.
Yeah, since I didn't work the last 2 days, I got a couple more to send out.
But yeah, with the Native Americans, I mean, I can recognize that it's Native American, but I wouldn't even guess at a tribe, and I you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't want to be wrong.
Well, people get confused between authentic Native American and Southwest look.
Yeah.
They also get confused between the authentic from Mexico, from the Hispanic culture, and Southwest and Native American.
Exactly.
And I'm not that good. I'm better at stones than I am design, style, and brand. Especially brand. I mean, there's all these brands, and I'm like, what?
Do you guys know what Native American I am?
Do what, hon?
Do you know what Native American I am?
The bold kind.
Aren't they all?
Did you say Willow?
Cherokee and Apache was what I said.
No, I'm a Lakota.
Oh. Cool.
Well, I was born in Maine, so I don't know. Might have something from up there. I don't know. I've never been curious.
Indian. See, I don't know if I'll ever be able to really trace mine. I started with Crazy Horse because my brother went out west and did a bunch of research and found out, I mean, we're from the Brule clan or Bruley pods. And I mean, we were part of the pods that, were around Crazy Horse and everything. Not saying that I'm related to his half siblings or anything like that. But just to know that, like, the people that I come from associated with him and lived amongst him and stuff like that, I think is really, really cool. So I bought the book, and they're not supposed to put the stories in writing. Everything's supposed to be an oral account all the way down, but they wanted to get the truth out there and not have America's side of Native American history, which is wrong.
Lost.
Yeah, which is wrong. And so I read this book and I learned so much I have an entire notebook full of the family tree, because they talk about the family trees of each branch.
Yeah.
And I have it all in there. And so I have to start from the bottom of that list and work into my dad's family. But supposedly,
I've got some genealogy stuff from both sides of my family, but
supposedly,
I've been told it's not accurate.
one of my dad's grandmother or my dad's great grandmother, my grandmother, my dad's mother, was very, very dark. She was dark like an Indian, or like a Native American. And
so was my maternal grandmother. She looks like a squaw.
Well, at some point, somebody was supposedly raped by a Native American, back like 3 generations.
Yeah.
Although there's talk within certain people in the family that it was a relationship, because back then you don't say you're in a you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they said, no, it was rape, whatever.
Yeah, and to be honest, you probably will never know for sure.
Right.
No.
Because
the mother ended up raising the baby as her own, not as her grandchild. So there were secrets all around. So no, we'll never know. But I would like to do
I got
one
a brother
of those.
that was raised by grandma as her own, and he didn't find out until he was a teenager.
That's gotta mess with his head,
to find out that my mother was his mother.
Yeah, that's gonna mess with a kid's head when they find that stuff out.
It did.
Well, here's the thing. I had done all this research, and
I'm having a hot flash.
I never had problems with those. I had a couple hot flashes, but
I'm on steroids right now.
Willow, I'm post-menopause, and I never had any help going through menopause.
I never had all that. I had all that beforehand because I still had the cycles.
Well, no, I tested positive for menopause when I was 22. So
19.
Yeah, and so I had my kids. One of the reasons I got married young was to have my kids before menopause hit and everything. So
your clock was ticking loud.
Oh yeah.
Because of that. Yeah.
I fell in love with my Asian husband, who I didn't know was Asian. I dated him for I don't know how long. And then my mom finally met him one night after work, because we worked together.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "What nationality is Tom?" And I said, "What are you talking about? What nationality? Where does his family come from?" "I don't know, America." She goes, "Right. He's dark skinned." And I said, "No, he's not." And my mom said, "Kelly, he is very dark skinned. Is he Mexican?" I think that's the word she said, even though it's Hispanic now. "Is he Mexican? What? Because he does look Hispanic. He doesn't look Okinawan." And I said, "I don't know." And so the next time when he picked me up to go out, I said, "Let me look at your skin." And he goes, "Why?" And this was like 2-3 weeks in, right? And I said, "My mom asked me what nationality you are." And I told her you were regular. And he started laughing. And I said, you do have a really good tan. And he started laughing. He's like, Cal, come on. You never noticed? I said, I never noticed. I never noticed that your skin was dark. I just, you know, and
Well, it would be more obvious if it was like December or something. But if it's summer, tan.
He would get back then. He would get super dark in the summer to the point where he almost looked like he was black. And people were like, "Are you dating a black boy?" And I'm like, "No, he's Asian, but he gets real dark." And my son gets real dark in the sun too. But my daughter, who is blonde hair and blue eyed, she is very fair.
Hi, Storage Scavenger, and I apologize if you can hear my son yelling in the background because he's gaming instead of making food like he said he was going to at 4 o'clock.
Tell him to keep it down.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Let me tell him.
How about we tell him?
It won't work. I've told him before that he's so loud that when I'm on a live, like this, that people can hear him. His answer was for me not to go on live then.
You know what? Let me talk to the little bastard.
Yeah.
It won't do any good. He'll just turn around and walk away if he would even come in here, but he's gaming online, so he won't move now.
You let me have 5 minutes with him.
It won't do any good.
That won't walk for me, man.
This is a child that when he got in trouble, I told him to clean his room. He was 7 years old or 8 years old. I said, get in there and clean that disgusting room of yours right now. And he said he didn't want to. I said, if you don't do it, I'm taking all your electronics away. Now, my son's been a gamer since he was like 5. So I was like, I'll take your PlayStation. I will take all your handheld games. I was like, I'll take everything out of your room. About 20 minutes later, he comes walking out, knocks on my door. I let him in. He hands me a box with all of his electronics in it and said, I don't feel like cleaning my room today, and walked out.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my kid. So got to hand it to him. He was, just he didn't want to do it. So he was like, okay, I'll give this up. So I'm like.
You know what my son did?
But yeah.
My son was 15 or 14. He was 14 or 15 because he had his permit when he was 14. And Paige was in the back seat. Clay was driving. I was in the front passenger seat. I got out. I guess I was being a bitch that day. And I was getting gas. And as soon as I got done getting gas, he goes, are you done, Mom? I said, yeah. He goes, all right. He took off. This was downtown Kalamazoo, nothing but one-way streets. And I thought, this kid's going to get lost. He is going to get lost. I was so mad. And I sat on the rock at the gas station, texting my husband. Clay took off with the car, blah, 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 blah. And then he comes back like 10 minutes later, right? And I get in the car and I said, you wait till we get home. You wait till your dad finds out what you did. And he's like, Mom, you were being a bitch. I'm like, I don't care. You don't take off with my car.
Right.
And his dad just thought it was funny.
And Susan, I could mute. I saw you retracted. I could mute. I could. But I never know when he's going to do it because he's in the other room. He's on the other side of the wall, and it's very spontaneous outbursts. Because right now he's talking in a perfectly normal tone of voice, but all of a sudden he'll
That's how young, immature gamers are. My son used to be one.
You know what would work in my world? Duct tape.
That boy's bigger than me. I'm not even attempting to duct tape him.
She's only got one leg.
Yeah, I only got one leg to stand on.
I get it. I know.
And yeah, when he was little,
patience for kids who are jackasses.
When he was little, he did get his ass reddened quite a few times. But in that situation that I just said, I gave him an ultimatum, and he called me on it. So I mean,
that he made his choice. Yeah.
He made his choice, and he went without electronics until he cleaned his room. Took about a week, and he couldn't take it anymore.
My son always kept his room clean. My daughter, on the other hand, which I never really cared if the kids' rooms were dirty, those were their rooms, as long as they didn't leave plates and glasses and stuff in their rooms.
Yeah.
Well, my problem is that DSS kept showing up at my house.
Oh,
So,
well.
yeah, because my daughter wanted to go into wrestling when she was 13.
I did too.
Yeah, well, she was a very well-endowed 13-year-old, and she wanted to drop cheerleading, which we had, I mean, all my online friends had donated to get her the stuff she needed to be able to send her to cheer camp and all that. She had like, I don't know, 6 weeks left. She had just made captain, and she wanted to drop it all so she could go learn to wrestle at the age of 13, which she wasn't even supposed to be able to do. It was supposed to be a 16-year limit. But because her friend's father was in the association, Southern Wrestling Association or whatever it was called, they were going to make an exception. I'm like, no, you are not, because my 13-year-old is not going to be thrown around a wrestling ring by hot, sweaty male adult males, you know?
Right,
no.
right.
And so her and her friend contrived a way so that she could do it, which was DSS.
Jeez,
So she got taken out of my house and put at her friend's house, who got a temporary foster care license because they knew a DSS supervisor. My son got put in a foster care facility, which he hated, absolutely hated, while she was living in her friend's house.
How does that happen? Because we took in a girl for about 3 years. We called her our foster daughter. We don't have contact with her now, but we called her our foster daughter. You know, CPS came in, you know, her caseworkers came and sat down with us because, you know, she was going to be living with us. I'm shedding and everything. They came and sat down with us, you know, a couple of times, and we never got money from her or anything like that. Didn't ask for it. Nothing. And didn't expect it. And we had her for like 3 years, and we didn't have to have a license or anything like that.
Well, in South Carolina, you have to have a foster care license, and they were getting $400 for having my daughter in the house, and they were giving her $200 of it just for breathing. So I don't know any 13-year-old who's going to want to leave when they're getting $200
right,
just for no reason. So, and I was checking her MySpace because, yes, I stalked my kid because I was worried about her. And she was taking all kinds of cleavage pictures, and I'm showing her caseworker, and he just didn't care. I'm like, what the hell? I'm a bad parent because, you know, my house is cluttered. It wasn't disgusting. There was no hazmat necessary. I was going through the issues of my back had just gone out real bad, and I was adjusting to medication. I was in a very depressed time, and my kids and the man in the house were not helping. So, you know, and boom, voila, I'm a horrible parent, right? I mean, I got accused of manufacturing or doing methamphetamine. I was like, show me where this is. If I was doing meth, I'd be a hell of a lot skinnier, and my house would be completely spotless. And if I was manufacturing it, I'd own a better house. I'm like, I wouldn't be living in one. So, I mean, it was ridiculous. I had to do a hair strand test, and that goes back. It tests you for drugs for 120 days.
Yeah.
They made John do one because he had been around, you know, helping and whatnot, helping. Not until they got taken.
Go ahead, how you finish.
The test came back clean. They still didn't give me my kids. You know what I mean? Everything I got accused of, we got cleared of, but they still wouldn't give me my kid. I'm like, South Carolina social services is a joke. It really is.
Should I leave these leather cords on this right here, or should I just sell it as a pendant?
Are the cords in good shape?
Yeah, the cords are in good shape, but I hate cords. It's leather. They're leather.
Yeah.
I don't personally do cords because of the bacteria that can get trapped in the leather and, you know, all that with my skin.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of like, cord.
I've never had a problem with leather cords. You could give it as an option that you could put it on a chain instead and give them the price difference.
No, I won't put it on a chain. A pendant that size and stuff, I won't put on a chain. Because I don't have any chains.
Oh, well, that would help, you know.
Yeah, I don't have any chains, so I've got some coming, but I'm trying to get more chains.
Yeah. See, the thing is here is that they'll either take your kid when it's not necessary, or they leave kids in bad situations. You know, I'm not really sure what their process is for this, but I mean, I've seen kids in my own neighborhood that shouldn't be with their parents. They're out here almost every weekend partying and being really loud, getting really drunk, smoking weed, and their kids are running around with them. I'm like, what the hell? No, So, and they're on the street, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, oh my god. But
What do you got coming up, Willow?
yeah, Willow.
Nothing really.
This is
I've
it.
been working on the house.
Are you a reseller, Willow?
No, not at all.
Thank you,
Really?
David.
No.
You're just you're just a jewelry buyer.
I'm a buyer, and I used to do the craft circuit back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And she helps
yeah,
out Sandy.
a long time ago. Otherwise, I've just always loved gemstones, and I've researched them extensively. And I mean extensively.
And you help Sandy.
Yeah. Yeah, I helped Sandy. I've helped other people along the way. I even auctioned or called for auctions for UT one day. That was cool.
That's sad.
Well, everybody was going to Florida. It was like the first full meetup day in Florida here, where Robin Sheeshead and everybody went down there, and he couldn't go because she's in New York, and Florida would not let any New Yorker in the state limits.
Right.
So she was stuck, and she was trying to do her auction by herself, and I was like, would you like me to call for you?
Right.
She was trying to do it all and was just having a rough day because her head just wasn't in it, and it just made it easier for her having somebody else cover that.
I always call for myself, and I just asked Cody last week if she would give me a hand on my last auction. Well, Willow, because you come to my auctions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the goal was so that Mama wouldn't have to. Wow. Okay, so my kid just exploded.
Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't have to talk so much because of my mouth. And then he ended up talking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute this for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. But yeah, that makes sense. Her wanting to call for you just to save your mouth. A little bit of a workout.
Well, didn't work. I still talked.
The whole time.
Look at these.
She talked so much I could barely make the calls for the bids.
Oh, hush up. These have
just she's used to doing it herself.
Yeah. See the coral?
Oh, pretty.
Yeah, those are pretty.
I like those little dangly ones. They would look good with purple.
I just like dangly earrings. I don't want big clunkers.
Right.
I don't like shoulder sweepers. Mostly dainty dangle.
These mother of pearl, pink mother of pearl. You can't really see it. Pink mother of pearl butterflies.
Pretty.
It's like an auction preview.
Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I should.
Teasers.
She is. She's such a tease. Yeah, Fat Girl Sewing. It's really sad when they split up siblings. It really is. They don't see. It's like social services seems so concerned about children eventually, or if it will benefit them in some way. Like, because I mean, our social services, they get money for every kid that gets put in their system, but they don't take into the psychological effects of splitting up kids. Plus, I mean, a lot of families will only take one. So.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but that's just another system that is broken.
Yeah, it is.
It's
broken. Very broken.
It's beyond repair.
Yep. And that's why
many of them are that way. That
I don't know. I've never dealt with the system other than the couple of times that I had to talk to Katie's caseworkers. Hi, Wendy.
Yeah, you were lucky. You're very lucky.
Well, I never had anybody question my parenting or my husband's parenting or.
Well, let me tell you, it pisses
Child
you off.
Protective Services called on me.
It pisses you off because, I mean, when I go out to wait for my kid's bus and the bus comes by and just keeps on going, I'm like, where are my children? They pulled them right out of school. Didn't notify me, didn't tell me. I was freaking out. I did not know where my kids were. And I get to the school and they're like, well, social services picked them up, and I flipped out. And I had really crappy lawyers the first few years that I had to deal with this, and the caseworker was a liar. I mean, he lied on the stand. He put his hand on a Bible and then lied, and that pissed me off. And I finally got a decent caseworker that listened, and I got a really good lawyer, really good. I mean, if I called him and said, look, this is what they're doing, and I don't think that's right, he goes, no, they can't do that. He goes, give me 5 minutes, and he'd call, and boom, he'd have it fixed in 5 minutes. So I told him if I ever win the lottery, he's handling my estate aspects of anything I need, lawyer. Yeah. I mean, he was fantastic considering that it's a pro bono for him. Our state requires that they take on at least one case like mine that deals with social services.
So your daughter's the one that called social services, though, right?
Both of them did. My oldest lived with my mother. She hadn't even been in my house for 2 years, 3 years. And she called saying all kinds of weird crap was going on. But my younger daughter is the one that did it the first 2 times. So,
well,
yeah.
You know what, though, to their credit, they have to take those seriously.
Right.
Until they investigate.
But the problem is they did investigate. Everything was found to not be what, I mean, except for the house being messy. Yeah. But I mean, I was also going through a lot, and I had somebody tell me that their cousin was a quadriplegic and they managed to clean their house. And I'm like, no, they don't. They hire somebody to clean their house. There's no way a quadriplegic can clean their house. They can't move. How do they clean? With their mouth? Ew. So I couldn't afford it. So, and, my daughter was telling that I treat her like Cinderella. I'm like, please. I'm like, yeah, her and her brother had to switch off chores like sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, doing dishes, and they had to keep their rooms clean and their bathroom clean. That is the only responsibilities they had. That is not, I had a hell of a lot more when I was a kid,
Yeah,
and they
mucking in stalls or something.
And they could share the chores, I had nobody. I was an only child. So, yeah. So, and when social services got them in the system, they didn't want to let them go because they wanted to keep the funding. It would, and it was ironically, the system would not listen to them either once they were in the system. So, yeah.
Well, they got themselves into it, didn't they?
Well, my daughter did. My son didn't want to leave home. He was like, no, I don't want to go. What are you doing? Well,
of course not, because the little shit runs the show.
No, he didn't. He pretty much has to now, although things could be a little better right now. But he takes care of my animals and does make food. So, does what he can. He's not a caregiver. He's never done it before. And as he told me, he makes a horrible nanny.
You know what? I have this thing about, because when my mom was disabled, but she was working very hard. And so I had to take care of her and stuff when I got home from school. And that was like the first thing out of her mouth when I got home from school. And it was just like, ugh. So I was always kind of like, this is exactly what I'm not ever going to put on my kids. My kids are never going to have to, this is what I've put into my head. And, my son's like, Mom, you don't have to worry. You're never going to go into a nursing home. And I said, you know what? You want to make a bet? Because you're not going to take care of me. I won't allow it.
My son actually asked me if I had considered going into a home while I waited to get my leg. I'm like, so I'm gonna lose all of my stuff because it won't fit in one room in one of those places. And I have my dog and my cats. He's like, I'll take the dog and the cat. No. So
You don't want to go into one of those places.
no, I don't. So I told him point blank, no, I hadn't thought of how I could be more miserable. So yeah,
Yeah.
I had a depressing couple of days after that, and I wasn't on YouTube much. And I came back, and they're like, "Oh my God, where were you?" I'm like, "I'm good, I'm fine." Took a couple of days for me to bounce back from that one.
Yeah, I tried to take a couple-day break from YouTube too. Didn't work.
But
Well, even me, who doesn't go on screen much at all, I'm not a reseller. I don't, Yeah, I take a couple of days off, and people are like, "Oh my God, we thought you died."
I know.
I'm
Where
not
were
I'm
you?
not a reseller. All this crap is mine. My entire life is in this room.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah.
gonna start making jewelry and selling it.
Yeah. My supplies are all on that side of the room.
Yeah,
I had started
My house.
you're gonna start making.
This is my living room.
So,
I had started organizing when I stepped on whatever it was I stepped on that caused the infection on my foot. But I had started getting all my things in their proper little places, like, I'll turn. I have to turn the whole table because there's no room to turn the laptop. But like all my, see,
yeah.
all my little drawers and stuff like that. So, and
Well, on
there's
the other side of the heap here, in that open area behind, is a 12 by 17 foot room that is my workroom. And
Yeah, I don't
right
have
now
one.
it is a mess because I was in the process of doing a resort and cull and reorganizing the whole bit when my knee and my back blew.
No.
And I'm just kind of stuck here at this point.
Well, I mean, I can't reach.
Do you get disability, Willow?
Yes, I've been on disability since 2006.
Me too.
See, at least you guys have that income.
Yeah.
Even though it's not much.
I'd be living under a bridge if I didn't have that income. I mean, it's $800 a month is what I get, and it's not easy to live on that a month.
Yeah, mine's a little less than that, but yeah, same.
So, but yeah, I mean, I can't comfortably reach any of the stuff over there. I just got, oh my God, a friend of mine, YouTube friend of mine that I met in Thrift Traders auction. Actually, we were in the auction and we were trying to help him with, telling him that those beads right there are really expensive, because it was Swarovski and Mill Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up in Facebook Messenger and talking, because she makes jewelry and stuff too. But she said she was going to be culling out some of her stash, and she wanted to know if I wanted any of it. And I was like, hell yeah, I never turn down beads ever. I don't care what they are, I don't turn them down.
Same.
And she sent me a box. I mean, this box is like boom, boom. It is full of natural stone and coral, and there's a few seed beads and a little bit of glass ones, but the rest of it's all natural stone and coral. And I'm like, ugh. I just opened a box of some, I'm like,
orgasmic bead box.
oh yeah. I mean, some of the bags are real small. Like, I don't know if you can see it. Hold on.
Yeah, but it's still gold because with some of that kind of stuff, you only need a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I can make hella earrings.
Color.
I can make hella earrings with these, or do like an illusion necklace or something with,
Yeah.
And I mean, but most of them, and she sent me a lot of lava bead jewelry, a lot of lava beads in different sizes, and I'm like, aromatherapy jewelry. Thank you very much. I was like, yay.
Yep.
What's a lava bead?
They're beads made from lava stone. They're porous, so if you put a drop of essential oil on it, it will carry.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You do have to be careful if you have pets, though. Make sure you take that jewelry off before you go handling, especially your cat.
Yeah.
Because essential oils are very dangerous for cats.
Yeah.
So,
and you want to dilute the essential oil in base oil before you put it on there, because some of those essential oils, in their strong natural state, are toxic and can burn skin and stuff like that.
Yeah, do your research.
That might be why my cat doesn't like to be in this room, because I'm always gotten my diffuser essential oils.
Yeah. The scent's too strong, and it overwhelms and probably burns her sinuses. And
that's why she does not like to be in here.
Although in a way that's a good thing, because if she was in there and she got the oil droplets on her hair,
she wouldn't have. Impossible. Because the oil's in a drawer and the diffuser's up here.
But I mean,
he barely goes past the door.
Mama, when you have an oil diffuser, it heats up the oil and it sends it out into the air. And there's teeny tiny microscopic drops that go into the air, and that's what scents your air.
Micromist.
If those get on your...
When she walks by, she gets it in her fur. Then she goes to lick it off of her fur.
It can cause some serious medical problems and death in cats. The cats are most sensitive to it. Dogs can be too, especially the smaller ones. Probably because they're the closest to being a cat.
Dogs aren't as sensitive as cats. Cats are allergic to far more things than dogs. But when it comes to aromatherapy, incense, perfume, room fresheners, aerosol sprays, anything like that.
And we just want everybody's fur babies to be safe, which is why we're, letting y'all know.
Well, I used to be a foster, so I'm super pro. Do your research.
Yeah, I did not know that.
I've just had a gajillion pets.
Well, so have I, but
I would foster. Yeah, I would foster if I could. We had so many more pets when John was around, when we lived out in the woods, and we could just let the dogs outside and in a fenced-in area. But at one point we had 11 cats, and that was a bit much,
I had 10 all in because my sister's cats, my cats, and then we took mom's cats. But
I had 50. Sorry.
We've lost 5 cats and a dog since we moved here.
Oh.
So we're down to 5 cats.
I had like 25 cats at one point because we had a few, and then I had 3 cats get pregnant all at the same time. They all gave birth within hours of each other. Yeah, there were way too many. I was like, no, you couldn't walk in my living room without booting a kitten. You know what I mean? We couldn't pick our feet up because we were afraid we'd step on them. So
you'd have to shuffle your feet.
Yeah, it's the kitten shuffle. Yeah. But and now I have 2 cats, which I would only have one, but one of them is John's cat. When he died, I would not let his widow take the cat because that cat hates her. And it would not get treated like it should, because you can only take a cat attacking you so many times before you're going to start being abusive or neglectful. Yeah. So I was like, no, you're not taking that cat. So they were adopted together. They weren't in the same kennels. They didn't come from the same place. His cat came off the street. The cat that adopted me, that he adopted, she came from
cat that walked by here earlier.
Yeah,
she showed up on our back fence with a male. We took both of them in. Yeah. We think that at the old house that we had, which would be where I, grew up and everything, behind it was a trailer park. We think somebody probably moved out and just left them. But they showed up on our back fence hungry and ear infections and mites and the whole bit, and upper respiratory infections and stuff. And even just sitting on the back fence, they would let me give them the antibiotics for the infections, put drops in their ears. They wanted to feel better. They did not want to be better. And we lost him, but we still have her. And she was adult when we got her, and we've had her for like 14, 15, 16 years.
Wow.
But she's up there.
Well, the 2 cats that I have are about a year and a half old. We adopted them a year ago, January, my birthday. And they were 3 and 4 months old. And the cat that blew by and gave me loves and in my face and purrs so loud, she came from someone's home. She had brothers with her at the animal shelter. She was surrendered by owners. But John's cat, Mardi Gras, appropriately named when she goes racing around my room at 3 o'clock in the morning, She has one blind eye. She was born with a blind eye, and she was all by herself. She got picked up off the streets, not too far from us actually, and she just never liked his wife. And it's funny because his wife is the one that spotted her because she was down in the bottom corner, and she's like, "Oh, look at the pretty kitty," and I was like, he's already picked a cat, and he's like, "That's okay, let me see her." And I'm like, "Oh, here we go, John, who wants to adopt every cat on the planet," which isn't a bad thing if you have the money and the space, But so they pulled Marty out, and she was actually tricolor when she was 4 months old, and she was tricolor. So he named her Mardi Gras because tricolor, party color.
Yeah.
Mardi Gras. And within a month and a half, all the brown was gone, and she was just black and white. I was like, wow, that's a party trick you don't see very often. But she can be dead asleep, and if Issa, his widow, walks in the door, she is bam over to where she is and trying to bite her, and it just never stops. Doesn't matter. Issa will be walking away, and the cat will take a swipe at her. And she's like, "I'm the one who found you. You're adopted because of me." Yep, cat don't care. But that
Something
cat
about her. She was a means to an end, but otherwise ended in that cat's eyes.
Yeah, and I told people before, I actually watched this cat. Issa was doing something, and she had her back turned to the cat, and the cat was on the floor. And I actually watched the cat's thought process as she's looking up at Issa's butt. And I saw it happening, and I just was laughing so hard I couldn't warn her. The cat just slowly goes up and bit her right on the ass. Funniest thing
Lord.
ever. She didn't draw blood or anything. It was just like, I don't like
You
you.
could have a pinch.
It was so funny. So
I
funny.
will be right back.
Okay. So, Mama, what you doing?
I'm adding jewelry to my board.
Of course you are. Silly question.
Well, just so I know where it is.
I know. Organization is good. Oh, my son.
So when I do my preview video, then I know where everything is. I'm using up all my sewing pins, though. That's the thing. Oh, no, I took up my spot for that.
Sewing pins aren't that expensive, though, so.
They were $7 a package.
You need to get sewing pins at a different place.
No, I like the ones with the yellow heads on them.
Well, excuse me.
Because they're easier to grab.
Yeah.
I don't have the greatest dexterity in my fingers.
Yeah, I don't either because my fingers are numb. I live with a foul-mouthed beast.
Back. Sorry
Welcome
about
back, Will.
My shot has worn off, and I'm doing steroids, so I'm flushing kidneys.
Yeah.
My back spasms. I have to make a run for it. Ye old bladder.
Oh, yeah, I understand that, chick.
It's rough.
We're all falling apart.
Oh, no, I forgot to put this on there. I've got a lot more jewelry coming. Believe it or not.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Did I have a lot more jewelry coming?
Yeah.
And that I'm broke because of it?
Mm. Well, we'll just have to start selling really good and not talk as much, right, Mama?
It's not that stuff didn't sell. It was a good auction.
It was fun.
Yeah,
And
we'll be calling faster this this week for sure, just because we had a really long auction, and we're not going to have a really long auction this Wednesday.
Really long, like 5 hours long.
It's going to be really short.
So you're just gonna have to book it through.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I could have been, calling it sooner if I could actually say that what the bids were, but I didn't know I was supposed to be like, Mama, hush.
Well,
So
you don't have to call every bid, just, so and so has a high bid, blah blah blah.
I like to call high bid because that it gives interaction with the chat without being chatty, Like they know we're paying attention to them even though there's lag, and but yeah, I got in trouble because I got impatient and went, bam, sold, because nobody had been bidding, and just as I said it, boom, a bid popped up on the chat. I was like, oh no.
I was like, no, not right.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, hold it. If it would have fallen between going once and going twice if I had, actually done my job correctly.
You're all right. The first time, you don't know what, you know what I mean? We can go over how I do it in the beginning, and then you're still going to end up doing things the way you want to do them in the beginning because that's what you're used to. And so that stuff's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm only used to doing it in the chat itself.
Kind of
not being
melding
really
the minds kind of thing. Finding that happy medium. Yeah,
and we went over a bunch of stuff after the auction. We didn't have time before the auction because Mama's husband wouldn't leave the store. So
we were at Menards. And as soon as we got home, I put stuff away and was like, gotta go do my auction.
So we went over stuff, and I got how she wants me to call it at the end. I'm good with that. I have no problem with that. There would still be my signature, bam.
But sold.
Yeah, bam, sold. But it will be preceded by the going once and going twice and the fair warning. So
the countdown, yeah.
Yeah.
Your eyes bug out when you hit the mute. It's like it's a hoot.
Cody's trying so hard to be respectful. She's trying so hard to be respectful. Wendy, I wish you'd pop on here with us. Do you want to pop on here with us?
You're roboting on me. I'm getting yard.
I am.
So give me a sec here. You'll have to let me back in.
Wendy, you should pop on. I want you to pop on. Yeah, click that link, bitch, and get in here. Hurry up, Wendy.
My kid. I mean, I love him to death, and he's a good kid. He really is. It's just some of the
it's like sports. Guys watching sports, they yell and they bellow and they just can't help themselves. I don't know.
When my son was young, he did the same thing. He was F this and F that. And...
Hi, Myra. Oh, my son gets a lot worse. I've actually learned more listening to him screaming at people on games than I ever did in my life.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi. Hi, Wendy.
How are you?
Hello, Wendy.
Doing okay. How are you guys?
Is this your first time going live?
No, I've done a couple on my channel, and I hopped on with Jody and Chris and Cliff during one of their shows.
Oh, yay. Cliff is so sweet.
Yeah,
and so
he
is
is.
Jody.
Boondock? Cliff Boondock reseller? Or mercantile or something?
I don't know him. I know Boondock Saints the movie, but I do not know him.
Cliff is really nice. And so is Jody. Jody's really sweet too.
Yeah,
Now,
Jody's a little sweet.
which Jody is that?
Mitama.
Okay, yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah, they have the quietest show, those three.
I think it's one of the reasons I like their show.
It's because they don't have my son in the background.
No, they're just really
Yeah, they're all
quiet.
three fairly mellow type of guys as it is, and but they haven't done their show in like forever. I miss their show.
And John and I had randomly discussed at different times soundproofing any room that my son was living in. Well, I mean, he has impulsive destructive disorder, and he keeps control of that pretty well. But he has really loud outbursts, verbal outbursts, which I think is just that energy coming out, and it's just like verbal diarrhea when he does it. So he does come up with some pretty creative stuff when he's yelling at people on the games, but I just don't want it when I'm on a live, you know? I mean, he's 26. Myra asked how old he was. He's 26. He just turned 26. But he usually comes home at, like when he's working, he comes home between 11:30 and midnight, and he'll make food. So, I get to eat and he eats. And by 1:30, he's gaming. So loudly. And I
never got into it.
I actually fall asleep to it most of the time. I've gotten used to it,
So Wendy, what you working on? The masks?
No, I've been doing grime guards.
What are those?
They go around a Q-snap, which holds your needlework in, like cross stitch and point and all that stuff. It's kind of the newer version of the hoop, what a Q-snap is. And it just wraps around it so that it guards against the oils and dirt and stuff on your fingers. So you're not getting it all over your...
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got 2 of them that are half made right now, and one that I have the fabric pulled for, and I got an order this morning that's got 3 new orders. So I have to actually look at that and pull the fabric so I can get those all set up and cut out tonight. So.
Oh no. I got
it was funny when I got that big box of beads. I was so happy. I was like, guess what I got? And they were all like, good, when are you going to make something? And I'm like, okay, I have a box of beads. They don't stick together on their own. You have to actually thread them and put findings on it. And I'm like, and I don't have any of that stuff that I can reach. Oh, my.
Why don't you just jump off for a little while, Cody, and then come back, okay? My son used to be like that too with video games. Just like that. But he would be in his room. He would be in his room.
Yeah, it sounds like the only thing separating him is a wall.
Cody, I want to say he's 19 or 20. She told me. Because I know.
19 or 20?
No, she says he is in his room. He's just that loud.
Yeah, my son was loud too. But I mean, I wasn't on YouTube then, If I was on YouTube, I would be like, shut up or you're coming off it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is my testing box.
Oh boy.
It has all my testing stuff in it.
Well, at least you have it all organized and kept together and all that.
Well, it was supposed to be my fishing box, but we let my brother take the fishing boat back, so we never went out fishing, because the fishing boat I inherited it had like live wells in it and mechanics and stuff you had to maintain, and my husband didn't know anything about it, and just it was a big boat, and he was just like, I'm not comfortable with this boat. So my brother took it. I don't know what my brother's going to do with it, whether my other brother's going to take it. I don't know. Yeah, you can, Cody. How old is he, Cody?
She said he's 26.
Yeah, I knew he was a grown-ass adult.
She says he pays half the internet bill, so she can't tell him to get off the system.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. At 26, though, he should be a little respectful. I think he takes advantage of his mom. But who am I to talk? Because I've got one that took advantage of me for years, and now we haven't seen her in over 2 years. So I'm not one to talk at all.
I think every parent struggles with some aspects of, kids growing up. Stuff happens.
Yep. Yes, it does.
I don't personally have kids that don't have fur, so wasn't in the cards for me, and I'm okay with that.
Aw. You have a lot of money then.
No. My last name is kind of a joke.
Why?
Because my last name is Rich.
Well, what's
Far from
Owlseer then?
That's my shaman name.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not my given name.
I understand. I gotcha. I thought that was your last name.
Nope.
So are you married?
No, I've been divorced for over 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And I intend to stay that way. Been there, done that, called it good.
I was okay with the idea of marriage and kids when I was younger. Now that I'm like 40, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty much me. I got divorced when I was 24 years old, and I was pretty much over it. I did get engaged one more time after, and it was like the minute that I told the dude that I would marry him, he went dictator on me, and I kicked him to the curb. I said, that ain't happening.
That is too bad.
So since then, all that did was remind me why I wasn't going there to begin with. So, yeah, I'm totally over it.
I mean, like for me, I think it would be hard for me to go there again. You know? I don't think I could after being married to the same man for so many years.
I don't know. I have no desire to be married. I have no desire to housebreak another one. I just don't. I just don't.
Exactly.
And
that's the thing.
So it's just me and my sister. Works fine.
I don't like pirate ships.
They're single, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to put up with somebody else. I go to my parents' house and get into the fridge, and where I put something an hour ago is not there anymore because somebody else has been in the fridge. I'm just like, oh, this is so annoying. How do people do this?
Do you you're talking about just if you visit your parents?
Yeah. Yeah, my parents live about 5 hours away.
Oh, I gotcha.
My sister and her son live with them, so.
See, my parents are gone, so.
That's sad. My dad is
2003 and 2014.
for a long time.
Well, I was a late in life oops baby. So.
And oops that they absolutely love that they had, right?
To a degree. I mean, they loved me, but they just didn't have the energy for me. So, extracurricular activities and stuff was challenging. You know, a lot of stuff that kids want to do when they're in school, it just wasn't available to me. They just didn't have the energy to deal with it.
My parents were kind of that way. My dad was mid-30s when I was born, and mom was mid-20s, which wasn't too awful much, but by the time I was in
my mom was late 30s. My dad was early 40s when I was born.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah, see, my parents were that old, and even I could tell by the time, especially I got into high school, that they just weren't as active as, you know, everybody else's parents who were 10 years younger than my dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Cody says she has a 15-year-old grandson that games too. And then she's got a 14-year-old granddaughter that's more artistic and athletic than being the gamer type thing.
You know,
and Kim has an 8 and a 14-year-old.
What was the world like before our children?
Oops. I think Kelly fell out of her chair. We'll just hold the fort here for a minute.
No, I didn't. I got so much crap sitting around here that I bumped my mouse and hit something.
Yeah. Well, just figuratively speaking, when you bump yourself out of your own live that you fell out of your chair.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it hasn't happened. It has.
Oh, yeah.
Many times.
Oh, I've bumped myself out.
I have
out of a chat, out of a live.
Many times live.
And I don't have a bunch of stuff on my table. It's usually a cat walking by. They bump my mouse because it's sitting here right in front of the laptop. I don't use the one on the laptop.
I think every other live, the host ends up accidentally bumping themselves out, either trying to do
if they're
something
doing
on the
stuff.
screen or.
Yeah, I'm doing shipping labels.
Or they mute themselves. They accidentally mute themselves because something that they've got laid on the table bumps a button.
Oh, I got so much. I have so much stuff on this table. It is not even funny.
Yeah.
I need to get it back to normal.
Yeah, but you get it cleaned off and then you start something and it piles right back up again. You know, it's an ongoing thing. And I would imagine by the time you guys get done doing an auction and showing everything and blah, 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 too freaking tired.
Nope, I do all my invoicing. Then I go back and then I wrap everything and box it up.
This is at the end of each auction?
Put it back in the envelope. So now all I have to do when they pay is print the shipping label and put the box in the envelope.
Cool.
That's why I'm up most of the night on Wednesdays and I'm dead on Thursdays.
Makes sense.
True story.
That's why I don't do that stuff I don't have the energy. In fact, I just got approved this week on expedited home-based care, which should have happened in February when I
So
put the
is they're coming
application
to your
in.
house then?
They will be. Yeah.
What are
Yeah,
they going to be
home-based
taking
care
your
here
blood
is
pressure and all that stuff?
huh?
You going to be taking your blood pressure and all that stuff?
I don't think I'm at a status where we need nursing, but they'll come and assess. But home-based care here in this state is home health if you need it, which is nursing, light housekeeping, Meals on Wheels, modifying your bathroom, bedroom, what have you, to accommodate your mobility.
Gotcha.
They'll put a ramp on the deck, yard care service, pest control service. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff that's available, and they come and they assess and they see what your needs are, and then set you up with whatever you need from what they offer, and then get it going. So, but I put the application in February, and they said 30 to 45 days. Well, 47 days out, the shutdown hit. And I couldn't check in, it's past time, do a follow-up check and see what the deal was because everything had shut down. Well, come to find out, when I did contact them, when they digitally sent it, it never went through. So it had to be resent again. But because of that, they expedited the expedited application and got it through in less than 48 hours instead of the 30 to 45 days because of what had happened.
Now they just have to schedule.
She said she wasn't sure if there was one more phase that had to through or if he had wrote it good to go fully. She needed to contact him and then she was going to let me know, but then the weekend hit, so probably won't hear back until next week. But either way, it's one step closer than what it was. I mean, during shutdown, my sister was on administrative leave. So she was home and could help, but she's back to work now and I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And, we were hoping to have this in place before things opened back up and she went back to work.
Right.
But because that means that now I've got to go do some of the running that she's been doing to keep me home and keep me safe.
Now, Wendy, do you work out of the house? Wendy?
Hmm?
Do you work out of the house?
I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you working from home or are you just on leave?
No, I work. I'm a custodian at the university here.
Oh,
So
okay.
I had
That's
a
what my
couple
sister
weeks
does.
off with pay, and after that, it's summertime was hitting, so I had to go do all the deep cleaning.
Yeah.
They only did 2 weeks for you guys? My sister is housekeeping at the university here. She was off for 3 months on administrative leave.
Jeez.
She just went back
they wouldn't do that here.
3 weeks ago.
It's been a little weird because we started our summer cleaning like a month early, so now we're, less
What
than a month
state?
out from school starting, and
What state are you in?
everything's done. Huh? Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're way out there.
I'm in Kansas, so I'm not, a couple states away.
Yeah.
We're like boom, boom, boom. I'm in Michigan. Huh.
Cody says, "Oh my God, he's done gaming. Now he's whistling the Seven Dwarfs."
Well, I think I'm going to wind this down and get off here because I have to print about labels for eBay and whatnot. And I don't want just to keep running the printer and running the printer and running the printer on you guys.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
thanks for coming on, you guys.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you for having us.
Well, I loved having you guys. It was fun. Fun, fun, fun. My camera's over here. Maybe I should move my camera over here. Yeah. Now you get a different view of my mess.
Don't worry about it, girl. It's a productive mess.
Oh, I don't care.
Well, me neither. I mean, look at this.
I've got a pile that goes, well, it's on a table, but all boxes that need to be broken down.
I have several piles like that.
Fine, honey, you're fine. Hi, Mel. I forgot you were in here, Mel. All right, guys, we'll see y'all later. Love you, love you, love you, love you.
Cody says, "Mama, sorry my kid was so loud and foul-mouthed."
I know, I saw that. It's okay. I had one too. He was 16, not 26, but I had one too. All right, you guys. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Stay safe.
I love you.